Hi, hello, my name is Helen, and I realized I hadn't filmed an intro for this video, so I'm not wearing makeup or anything like that, but I'm not going to put makeup on either. I just took a shower, I don't want to wash my face. But I filmed most of the clips for this video the beginning of this year. It is now September, it's almost October of 2024, and I filmed all of the clips in the first like 3 or 4 months of this year. So they've been sitting on my phone for a long time. And I refilmed the swatches. I just got done refilming the swatches. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to do an introduction. This is a video where I'm using the first 3 palettes I got from Electrum. So we have the Celestial Witch, which is a 9-pan multichrome palette that looks like this. And I have the Sea Witch, which has kind of a half and half mix of multichrome shades and matte shades. And then lastly, I have this 6-pan. This is the Daydreamer highlighter palette, and she looks like this. Very beautiful. I do have 2 other palettes and 1 single shade from Electrum. I have the Heartbreaker 2, which is also a 9-pan multichrome palette, and then the Midnight Moth, which was their summer release. That is also kind of half matte, half shimmer. And then I have the single shade, which is one of their Kaleidoscope shades in Night Skies. So I have become a very big fan of Electrum. It is my very favorite eyeshadow formula. I have like very hooded eyes, and something that I've noticed with these shades is that they stay on my eyes in a way that I've had a hard time getting other shades to stay on. And I've used these palettes quite a lot. They're pretty much all I'm using. I have a few other eyeshadow palettes I accumulated over the summer, but until July, I believe, these are the only palettes I have purchased since the end of last year, and they're pretty much the only palettes that I use. This has become my #1 brand. The mattes are fine. The mattes in the Midnight Moth are definitely better than the ones in the Sea Witch. And I don't know, there's just something about their shimmer formula that works so well. Of course, Electrum is a small indie brand. I believe that the owner is a one-woman show, and she hand makes everything except the packaging. I do believe she designs it, and she has an artist that she works with. I love the packaging on these. I think they're stunning. I just bought the Blood Moon palette. It was just released last week, I think. It might still be on pre-order. I don't know when I'm getting this video up. I think it's supposed to be on pre-order until the 27th, and I believe the 27th is in 2 days. So if I get this video edited and uploaded, you might still be able to get your order in. I don't think that they are restocking all of their palettes. I think it's just the Blood Moon and a bunch of their single shadows. And again, those are like weeks long pre-orders, so keep that in mind. It is a one-person owned and operated business, which, you know, I love supporting. I love indie brands, but especially Electrum. I have just fallen in love with their shimmer shadow formula. I love multi-chromes anyway. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know how into special palettes I am, and special shades and things that are unique to my collection. I have actually decluttered a lot of my collection because I'm pretty much only using, you know, these palettes. This has become it for me. I've gotten a little bit into sea beauty. I've bought a lot of palettes. I say a lot, it's been like 7 or 8 over the summer. but even those, I like the mattes on them, but shimmers do not come close to this. I don't have any shimmers that are as spectacularly amazing as these are, and I think you're gonna see that when I do looks and when I do the swatches. Now, these two palettes are not included in this video because I did get these after I filmed most of the footage for this video, so I will not be doing looks or swatches with these two. I might eventually. I don't really film makeup videos anymore. I just have a couple of these on my phone. I felt like I needed to finally finish up so that I could delete off my phone and have space for other things. But yeah, I don't know if this video goes fine. I might do a several looks and swatch video of these. There will not be swatches outside with these palettes. I know that that's something I like seeing, but honestly I feel like it's going to be kind of long and hard to edit it and piece it all together as it is. So I kind of want to just like make things easier for myself and not have to go outside. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I'll stop rambling now, but I do think that of all the indie brands I've ever tried, this one is worth the purchase. And if you're looking for something special and unique, I definitely recommend Electrum. I have just been blown away, and the customer service has been amazing. With one of their, I think with the Midnight Moth launch, they kind of had some trouble getting it like up on the site, and because I had set the like reminder bell on Instagram, the owner actually sent me a message to make sure that I knew that she finally had it, you know, the website up and that the pre-order was open, which was so sweet. I've set a lot of pre-order bells on Instagram in my day, and that's the first time anyone has ever messaged to make sure that I knew it was there. And I really liked it. I have had a lot of good interactions with customer service, with, you know, various things. And yeah, I really like Electrum. Their packaging, something I don't think I put in the video, is their packaging, most of it comes deconstructed. So like, especially a lot of their palettes are magnetic and they come individually wrapped, the shades, and you can put the palette together yourself. And I just feel like that is the safest way to ship eyeshadow palettes, especially hand-pressed multichromes tend to be very fragile. I had a lot of issues with my Terra Moon's shades, and you know, shimmers are really easy to press back down, but I'd rather not deal with that mess if I don't have to. So anyway, I will stop rambling, and I hope you get something out of this video and the looks that I'm gonna do, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello everyone, and welcome to another clip in this video series where I do my makeup using my Electrum Cosmetics palettes. I think I'm gonna do something rather simple today. I don't know if I've done this look already. If so, I'm only gonna I have filmed so many small clips of looks with these palettes, it's kind of insane at this point. But these are really the only things I'm reaching for right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna film clips using these palettes until I'm ready to make a full video, and I'm not ready to do that yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. finished look. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about what I used. So first I went in with this highlighter called Dreamer. That's kind of like the multicolored one. It has a very like gold tone to it, with some flashes of like pink and blue and purple and violet. It's very much a opalesque color. Like, to me it looks like an opal does. Then over the top of that I went into the Celestial Witch palette and I used two shades from here, Moonchild and Just a Phase. So Moonchild is kind of this pink iridescent that is almost a cooler toned version of Dreamer. It has a very strong like pink blue shift to it. It has some gold too and some green. And then we have Just a Phase, which is a darker pink with a purple and peachy shift to it. So we'll get those kind of there like that. Okay, and then I did go in again off camera after I put on mascara, and as an inner corner highlight, I used the shade Head in the Clouds, which is kind of this pink with like a icy blue in it. Put that over here. There, you can kind of see that. It's pink and icy blue, mostly just that icy blue though. It kind of has that base to it, and then it has a lot of like teal and turquoise glitter in it. Alright, so yeah. And what else do I have on my face? I know I have my Fenty, there it is, the How Many Carats Fenty Diamond Balm. I use this kind of as a highlighter. I use my finger to kind of like press it onto my nose and my cheekbones and above my eyebrows, and then I put a little on my lips. And then for lipstick, I used this one from Menagerie, a velvet liquid lipstick in the shade Lunar. It's this kind of like, it dries down as a, I don't know, like a gray purple, but like a warm gray purple. I've never used Menagerie. My sister sent me a bunch of lipsticks I haven't ever used. There were some Kaleidos, some from Lunar Beauty, some Menagerie, a couple other brands I can't think of at the moment. I haven't used all of them yet. This is the first Menagerie lipstick I've ever used, so I don't know. I like it so far. But I just put it on. So yeah, my mascara is of course Essence Lash Princess. I can't remember if it's the purple one or the pink one this time. But anyway, yeah, that's this look. I hope you liked this. If you did, like the video, comment, you know, your thoughts, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Bye. Hi, hello, my name is Helen, and today I am going to be doing another look with my Electrum Cosmetics palettes. I actually already started kind of an eye look here and then didn't like it, so I wiped it off. So yeah, I think instead of using a matte, I'm just going to use a bunch of the shimmers, probably from this palette, maybe from the other. I'll come back at the end and show you what I did. the finished look. I'll go ahead and go over what I did with my face. I used several of the highlighters in the Daydreamer palette. The first one being Dream Chaser, the second one being Believer, and the third being this marbled shade, Dreamer. And Dreamer is what I used also on the inner corner of my eye. So we have, what are the names of these? Dream Chaser, Believer, and Dreamer. So you can see those. Those are kind of iridescent multichromes. Dreamer has more of a base to it and is really more just like a multichrome like eyeshadow, kind of in my opinion. It doesn't really, it has a lot of base pigment to it, so I don't know that I would personally just describe it as a highlighter. But you can see kind of the flashes in those. This one, Dream Chaser, has a lot of like electric blue and violet and purple. This one in the middle, Believer, is just like a pink with some brighter pink and peach flips. And then Dream Chaser is kind of like, I don't know, interesting, because it's kind of like a gold pink with green and some purple and blue in it. But really what you kind of see is like it has that kind of like opalescent shell pink base with kind of a vanilla peachy gold flip to it. And you can kind of see almost like some of the purple and blue in it. But yeah, anyway, so those are the highlighters I have on, and I just kind of have them gently layered. I used this brush for Dream Chaser, and I just kind of put it on my cheekbones, and then Believer I put on my cheekbones and then the other high points of my face. And then I went in with kind of a like thicker brush, and I put this in Dreamer, and it's very flaky. It's very flaky. I don't know if you can see all the, yeah, like the flakes around it. And so I just kind of dipped it in and then smeared it into my face, kind of like you would blend an eyeshadow. And then put it all around my orbital bone, and that's it on that one. And then lipstick, I have this one from Lunar Beauty that is called Pink Pearl. And I don't like it that much. My sister, one of my sisters, I have many, gave me a bunch of liquid lipsticks she wasn't using. I think she called them colors that were too weird for her. This one isn't really a weird color, but some of the others are like blue and purple and things like that. And I might eventually do a video on those, but we're not there yet. So yeah, this one, it's kind of like a, I don't know, you can see it, it's pink. I don't like it. I have other Lunar Beauty liquid lipsticks that I do like, and I don't like the formula of, I have a couple of, I don't know if they're new or not, but a couple ones I don't already have now, and I don't like them as much. And then mascara, I'm using a Lash Princess Mascara, probably the pink one. I don't have it over here. So as far as what's on my eyes, I used a lot from the Celestial Witch palette, namely these two, Vespertine and Moon Magic, and these are both flakier, and they're kind of just, I don't know, Vespertine is kind of more of a, so this is Vespertine and this is Moon Magic. They're kind of just versions of each other in a way. Vespertine is more of a pinky purple lavender with kind of gold and green reflex, whereas Moon Magic is more of a gray blue purple with that pink and gold shift to it. Oh, here you can kind of see those. And Vespertine, you can really see that green and blue there. And then I used one shade from the Sea Witch palette, and it is this one here at the bottom called Lorelei. And this is a smoother formula. Most of the ones in the Sea Witch palette are smoother. So I'm just gonna pop it right in the middle, and I put this just on my lower lash line, kind of blended it into Moon Magic. And it's just an even darker version of those two. It's kind of, you know, purple with some pink and orange and green. It has that really vibrant purple. It has a lot of like multicolored glitters. There, you can kind of see those. Like blue and green and purple. It's kind of like a gray-black base. There. Right, and so yeah, that's what we did. I really like these multichromes so far. I like how they wear on the lid. You know, I have very crinkly, deep set hooded eyes, and I like them. They're decent multichrome formula. Yeah, so that's about that. I hope you enjoyed this look, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, hello, and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a look with the palettes I have from Electrum Cosmetics. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to be doing. I know I want to use this matte shade from Terra Moons called Just a Phase. It's this kind of like seafoamy green, and yeah, I'm trying to use more of my singles at the moment, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure what shimmers I'll use. I'm gonna do the look and I'll come back and kind of talk through what I did at the end. So let's get started. Here we have the finished look. I only used a couple shadows, so let's go ahead and get those out of the way, and then I'll just briefly mention what I put on the rest of my face. So I did use this matte shade. I think it's called Just a Phase from Terra Moons. I just looked at it earlier when I put it on, but let's see. Yep, Just a Phase. It's this kind of like seafoamy green. It looks more green in real life than it's showing up on camera. I think that's just the lighting making it seem more blue than green. And then as far as the shimmer shades I used two from the Celestial Witch palette. This one up here, which is this green called Spellcaster, and this one that's yellow called Estella. I didn't really think I would do green. I kind of thought I would do purple or pink on top of the matte shade, but well, that didn't happen. So we have Spellcaster, which is kind of the seafoamy green that has pink and purple shifts to it. I think you see like yellow gold. I'll manipulate the light in a second so maybe you can see it better. And then Estella, which is this yellow gold that has a lot of green and pink and kind of like some bronze and purple in it. It's very beautiful. Let's see. Ah, yeah, there we go. You can see those shifts a lot better that way. And you can see like that really kind of bright green in Spellcaster. It's not really picking up any of the anyway, there you can kind of see it a little. All right. And then both of those are also very flaky shades. Like, I don't know if you can see, like, you can kind of see the flake, especially with Stella. They're very thin and flaky. And then as my face highlighter, I went in with the Daydreamer, also from Electrum, and I used Manifest, which is kind of a gold green. It has like a very opal, kind of vanilla pink base, and a lot of like seafoam, green, blue, and gold shifts to it. And it has like a very transparent base, which is something I really like about all of Electrum's highlighter shades in that palette. So then for my face, as a base, I used this Besame Shimmer Pearl Compact Shell. I don't think that they make this. This is limited edition from a long time ago. I don't use it very often because it's kind of too dark for my skin. So I went over the top of it with my lavender powder from Fenty Beauty. And I just kind of like buffed those together with a stippling brush. Put on the highlighter and mascara. I am using this one from Essence. I almost always use Lash Princess mascaras these days, and right now I am working on this pink tube. And then the lipstick I'm wearing is Mrs. Kisses from Charlotte Tilbury. It looks like this in the tube. This on my lips, which of course I put highlighter over the top of it. So here maybe. It's just kind of like a nudie, peachy rose color. It's a little orange on my skin tone, but I kind of wanted that with this eye look. So yeah, anyway, that is this eye look. Hope you liked it. I'll see you in another look soon. Bye. Hi, hello, it's Helen here doing another look with my palettes from Electrum. And of course, I've been trying to use just the highlighter palette as well in these videos. Just to kind of make it more cohesive so I can get all of my Electrum stuff in one. I think I've used the Celestial Witch palette in most of the last videos I've done, so I'm gonna circle back around to doing maybe a look with just the Sea Witch. I haven't really utilized the mattes in this palette that much. It's not that they're bad, they're just really, they're all very mid-toned to darker, and I haven't been preferring that. I've been preferring a lot of more pastel looks. If you've seen me, the looks I've done, I'm not sure what order I'm gonna put them in the video, but I'm sure you've noticed a lot are very pastel. And if you've watched any of my videos so far in 2024, you'll notice most of the looks I've done are pastel. So yeah, I am gonna try and play with maybe a few of these darker colors. I kind of wanna, I don't know, not get too dark because my shirt is lighter, brighter colored, and I'm gonna wear this shirt out, and I like my makeup to at least be cohesive with what I'm wearing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna see about using maybe this blue, maybe the blue and the green, or the blue and this teal. We'll see. One of my complaints, and I don't know if I've talked about this yet, is how close all the matte shades are. Like these three especially, like on the eye, there's very minute differences. And I don't understand the point of having all of those in this palette. I would have preferred more shimmers or multichromes or whatever to these being the same. And these two, like this one is like more purple and this one's more red, but they're still on the eye. Anyway, on the eye they basically look the same. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So we have a finished look here. I'm gonna go ahead and mention the products I used because I didn't use any others but eyeshadow except for 3. So I used my mascara that I always use, this Lash Princess, the pink one. Lipstick, I went for one of my Charlotte Tilbury ones and Wedding Bells. It was between this one and Mrs. Kisses. And Mrs. Kisses is like the slightest bit pinker, and I kind of liked the idea of something more peachy orange. Ignore my cat. He's trilling at the birds outside. He does that occasionally since we got another cat. They usually stick together in the other room while my husband is gaming, but I guess he decided to come visit, so that is that on that. And then in the areas I didn't use eyeshadow as kind of highlighter, I used my Rare Beauty highlighter in Enlighten. Look at that pan. Oh, I'm so excited. I almost never pan things, so seeing that I actually do use something as much as I think I do is great. And then as far as eyeshadows I used, let me find things around. Alright, so I used basically all the eyeshadows I used were from the Sea Witch palette. And I think I keep accidentally calling this the Basic Witch palette, so if I do, just ignore me. So I used 3 shades from this palette. Desire, of course, is the matte shadow, and it actually looks a lot... Let me turn off some lights, because it looks a lot brighter on camera than it does in real life. There, you can kind of see how it's kind of like a darker navy, like a light navy blue. Sorry, I think my voice is going out. Right, turn that back on. And then I used shade Hera. It's what's all over my lid and here along my cheekbone, and I kind of tapped it up here, but ended, and then here is where my other highlighter, I just put that highlighter where I didn't. So on my nose, here above my eyebrows, and then on my lips and my chin, and then my décolletage area. And then I used Temptation that is what's on my bottom lash line. I just wanted something a little brighter to make it pop. And then in my inner corner, I used something from a different palette, and I'll get that in a second. So, as far as Desire, that kind of, it was the easiest shadow to blend out of all the ones I've used in this palette. A lot of them can tend to be really patchy, which I also have deep hooded eyes, so like getting stuff to stick like right in the crease is always a struggle. But these ones are kind of like, the other ones I've used are a little patchy, which is why I decided not to mix Sea Witch into, because that's what I had planned, was to mix this in. And I decided not to do that because I didn't want to jinx myself. So just the one matte eyeshadow. And then I did use Hera and of course Temptation. So we're gonna swatch those. So, sorry, he is just doing him. So this is Hera and this is Temptation. And both of these are a much smoother formula. Hera has kind of a more pink purple base to it with this sea green and gold shift. It's a very interesting color shift. And then of course, what is this? Temptation? I've closed the palette and I forget it. Yep, Temptation is a darker multichrome and it's extremely smooth and very, like, it goes on very opaque. I mean, you saw with the little brush that I use, sometimes I have to build up darker colors, and this one I didn't. So it has this dark royal navy blue base to it with this flash of turquoise, and it has a lot of like glitters in it. Let me see. You can kind of see the glitter. But it just has like a lot of shades of blue in it. And it does stain. A few of the shades in the other palette also stain the eyelids. So I would be careful if that is something that you personally are concerned about. And then lastly, on the very inner corner, I went into my Noctilucent palette from Blend Buddy and I used the shade Enlighten because I wanted something that was very similar to Hera, but just a little, I don't know, less opaque. And so Enlighten has kind of the same gold shift that Hera does. It's basically Hera without that strong pink purple base, and it doesn't really have any aqua in it. Again, it is a highlighter, and so I thought it would kind of, you know, be an inner corner highlight. And that's the only place I used that was on the inner corner. So yeah, we're gonna let me see about turning off some lights. Kind of, I don't know if that helps or not. Like, it does at least add a different viewpoint. And you can really see like the shift. Yeah, anyway, so here is our final look. And yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the next look in this video. I'm sure there are more coming up. Anyway, I think this is my favorite look I've done so far. This looks like a starry night. And I like it a lot. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, and welcome to this part of the video where I'm going to be doing swatches of these three palettes. We're gonna start with the Daydreamer palette, which of course looks like this. There are several shades here. This one is one of their kaleidoscope multichromes, which just means there are a bunch of colors pressed together. I typically swirl them together. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into swatches. I think I'm gonna leave it probably right here maybe. Yeah, okay, so we're going to do Dreamer first, which is of course this kaleidoscope color. And then Head in the Clouds, which is more of a pinky, peachy base color with some blue and green in it. That one has a very strong blue shift to it. And then we have Believer, which is more of an iridescent pink. It's probably the smoothest shade in this palette, to be honest. I wipe my hand off. And then Manifest, which I think may be my favorite in this palette. It's kind of this golden green, and it's just really flaky and glittery, which is my preferred kind of texture for a highlighter. And then we have In a Trance, which has an even stronger green shift to it. And then last we have Dream Chaser, which is kind of this neon electric violet color. Alright, so here we have Dreamer, Head in the Clouds, Believer, Manifest, In a Trance, and then Dream Chaser. I'm going to turn some of these lights off. All right, next up we're going to do the Celestial Witch palette. This one is a 9-pan all shimmer shade. I use this one, as you can tell, I dip into this one quite a lot. This is probably my favorite of all of the palettes I have from Electrum, just because of how versatile it is to pop a shade on your inner corner, on the bottom lash line, you know, all over the lid, what have you. So I'm gonna scooch this to the side. I do still have some glitter kind of on my arm, but we're going to ignore that. As always, I use Parents' Choice fragrant free baby wipes to wipe the makeup off of my arm, so I don't have anything else here on it but that. We're going to start with Moonchild, which is an iridescent multichrome that has a very strong kind of, I don't know, pink purple base. It's very smooth, very glittery, very, very beautiful. And then we have Spellcaster, which is really flaky in this beautiful green color that kind of has some gold and blue in it. Here. And then we have Just a Phase, which is another really smooth shade. And it is a purple base with this pink orangey gold flip to it. Right. And it does kind of leave a stain. All of these purplier shades leave kind of like a pink stain, so I would be careful if that's something that bothers you. Vespertine, which is my favorite shade in this palette, is this gorgeous iridescent, almost holochrome with all of those glitters in it. And it's a little bit thicker, but it goes on pretty smooth. As you can see, all those glitters in it. It has a very pinky purple base with a gold flip and then multicolored rainbow glitter in it. It's just stunning. And then Cosmic Power, which is a lighter pink with this green, blue, and gold shift in it. It kind of has some multicolored sparkles in it too. And then we have Moon Magic, which is another kind of flaky shade. And it is, like, it feels very wet. It goes on very smooth. But, like, I don't know, it feels very wet in comparison to the other ones going on. And it's kind of more of a gray purple to Vespertine, and it has a lot of those iridescent multichrome rainbow sparkle and glitters in it. And it has this very strong, like, peach, green, orange shift to it. And then the last row, we have Cosmos, which is kind of a purple with blue, green, teal, mint shifts to it. It also has a much more iridescent base to it than it looks like in the pan. And then Estella, which is this beautiful golden yellow with orange and peach flips to it. Absolute stunning shade. It also has like kind of a pearl effect where it's like almost pink at its base. It's really, really beautiful. This is one of my favorites for an inner corner highlight. And then last we have Mystical, which is a little bit flaky, but it goes on pretty smooth. And it has kind of a blue, lavender, maybe even periwinkle base to it, and then a lot of green and gold flips to it. It's really, really stunning. All right, so then up top we have Moonchild, Spellcaster, Just a Phase, Vespertine, Cosmic, Power, Moon Magic, Cosmos, Estella, and Mystical. All right, I'm gonna try to turn off some of these lights. Turn this top one off. All right, so there we go. I think that kind of gets them all in there. All right, and then last up for swatches, we have the Sea Witch palette. This is actually the very first thing I bought from Electrum. I bought this, and then of course these two less than a couple of weeks later. And I don't know, like there's just something about this palette that I saw it the first time, and I waited a while to decide if I really wanted it or not, and decided that I did. So yeah, I really love this palette. I did finally get around to using some of the mattes. I like them okay. I do not like the mattes in this palette. I actually have another palette I got back during the summer, and that's the Midnight Moth. And I like the matte formula in this palette a lot better than this one, so that is something to note. But we're gonna go ahead and get to swatching. I think I'm going to do all of the shimmers first and then do the mattes. So we're gonna start with Siren, which is this really beautiful, flaky multichrome. It has kind of a steel blue base with a lot of purple, pink, green, gold reflex and glitter in it. It's just a really beautiful shade. And then we have Hera, which is my personal favorite in this palette. And it's just a very unique shade. It kind of has like a vanilla silver base with a lot of silver and gold and pink in it. It even has kind of some green. And then we have Temptation, which is this very smooth multichrome that has a blue turquoise base and a electric teal and green flip to it. All right, and that blue does kind of stain, so I did have to use a baby wipe to kind of get that off. And then we have Achillois, which is this kind of more unique seafoam green with other, like, more minty green, some teal, blue, and gold in it. And it is quite flaky and a little bit thick, as you can see, but it does wear down quite smooth. And it kind of has then like an almost orangey peach base to it. And then we have Lorelei, which is this very dark, either black or gray based multichrome, and it has a bunch of multicolored glitters in it. And it's kind of this dark plum with a magenta flip and then all of those glitters in it. And then last we have Persephone, which is an iridescent multichrome that has a lot of pink, mint, green, teal, blue shades to it. And it also, kind of like Achillois, has a little bit of almost like an orange base to it. So there we have Siren, Hera, Temptation, Achillois, Lorelei, and Persephone. I'm going to turn off some of these other lights. Oh. All right. All right, let's do these matte shades. So, again, the formula isn't anything to write home about, but they are pretty usable. They blend well together. These shades are all kind of very similar, so I'm actually going to do kind of all the blue and green shades first, and then Orpheus, which is this kind of magenta, and Siren Song, which is the plum, last, because these four really are kind of, I don't know, almost redundant. And I hate to say that, but I mean, it's true. So we have Desire, which is this dark blue jean color, and you see they do not swatch very well, but they do build up pretty okay on the eyes. And then Odyssey, which is a more teal blue. And then Sea Witch, which is a little bit greener than Odyssey. As you can see, they kind of just stair step from, you know, blue to blue with a little green, a little bit more green, and then finally, lastly, we have Enchantress. Out of these, that is a, like, true, I want to say like a Kelly green. Is that the correct term for this shade? All right, and then let me wipe off my hand real quick. All right, and then last we have, of course, Orpheus, which is this more magenta tone. And then Siren Song, which is kind of a plum purple. And these do build up pretty okay on the eyes. Again, they're not the best mattes I've ever worked with, but they're not the worst either. And let's be honest, if you're buying this palette, you are purchasing it for the beautiful shimmers that I think make it more than worth it. So yeah, that is the mattes. Alright, I just wanted to film my outro. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this. If you do, like, subscribe. I might be doing more makeup content later on, and if not, feel free to peruse my old makeup content. I have a lot of similar reviews for other indie eyeshadow palettes in my collection. And just thank you so much for watching. Bye.